Home Base, it's all about the home. Home decor, interior and exterior design, choosing paint colors, picking out rugs, organizing closets, being productive in your home office, and so much more. Let's jump right into today's episode with Southern Inspirations partner, Shepherd Organizing Solutions. Good morning, everyone. I'm Michelle Hill with Southern Inspirations, and back with me today is Paige Shepherd with Shepherd Organizing Solutions. Hey, Paige.
Hello, Michelle. It is so good to be back. I've missed you.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, it is. I'm so excited for today. So welcome back, and thank you so much to everyone who is already watching. I see we have a handful. Thank you for your patience. I know that you are excited to have Paige back. We just had a little bit of a hiatus from the episodes, and sometimes you just have to do that. But we are back, and y'all are going to love what we're going to bring to you between now and the end of the year, because here we are at the end of the year. I can't even believe I'm saying that, Paige.
Me either. It is here.
So today's episode, because we are in baking season, we have entered baking season. You are going to give us some great tips on organizing, the flour and the sugar and all those things, the nutmeg and the cinnamon and the things that we need for our baking. So yay, I even invited the Good Eating group because I thought, hey, Good Eating folks might be interested in hearing these tips that you have for us today. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Like you said, I'm excited about today just being back. It feels right to be back.
That's right.
I'm also really looking forward to the next few weeks because it's fun to kind of talk about seasonal things and ways you can make the most of your time and be organized in all your different areas so that you can actually enjoy the next several weeks that we have, where it's supposed to be a time of celebration, but oftentimes for people, it's really stressful. And so that's one thing I love doing in my job is getting to see clients have stress lifted off their shoulders just by implementing some simple practices. So hopefully today's tip will be helpful for you, and it shouldn't take long because you're not decluttering your whole pantry. You're not reorganizing your entire kitchen. It's just kind of taking one segment of it and trying to get that under control. So having your baking items organized, having your spices handy and decluttered, it takes away the stress so that you can enjoy it. And when things are organized, it makes for an easier cleanup too. So
yes, and who doesn't like that?
Right. Sometimes that's the worst part.
Right. Yeah, because I can get pretty messy, particularly with baking. If it includes flour, it's probably going to be everywhere.
Yes, I know. No matter how hard you try.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Also, another benefit to doing this, to implementing this Tip Tuesday, is that it can save you money and it can save you time. And the reasons that it can do that, like it can save you money because you won't be buying duplicates at the store because you're going to know what you have, and it'll save you money because you won't be throwing away things that eventually expire and you can't use anymore because you bought too much. And it can save you time because who wants, like, the morning that you're getting ready to bake to go over to grandma's house, you don't want to realize that you don't have enough flour and have to run to the store with everyone else.
Yeah.
So hopefully there's a lot of benefits to today's Tip Tuesday. So I hope that it helps some individuals and some families who are watching this.
I am sure it will. Yay. Well, here we go.
You got any idea what the first step is, Michelle?
Let me think. I get one guess, and I think I can nail it. Okay. Starts with declutter. So you probably need to pull out everything you have and take a good inventory of it. What is expired? What do you need to throw away? Am I taking away the first one?
You don't even need me. This you don't need me.
You taught me well.
Yes. So I suggest clearing off a big flat area, like a dining room table or a big island or the floor, whatever you got, and taking out all of your baking items and spices. Go ahead and get them from wherever you have them stored. Hopefully, it's not too many different places, but bring them all out. Make sure you have some good lighting because those expiration dates are hard to see on spices sometimes. And everyone has different preferences on expiration dates and spices and items like that. You do you. But I'm an expiration date kind of gal. Like I might use it a little bit past, but I just feel like it's there for a reason. And I know not everyone's like that, but you do keep that in mind. But you may have spices from like 2005. You probably don't need those anymore. So check your expiration dates. Throw away things that are the wrong consistency. I don't care if you think that it'll work. Don't take something that's going to poison someone at grandma's house.
Right.
And if you have items that are unopened and still fresh, but you're like, man, I'm never going to use this. You bought it on a whim and you've never used it. There are a ton of organizations and food banks that will take those items off your hands. So keep that in mind as you're doing this. If there are things that you can donate, do that. If there are things that need to be trashed, then trash them. And then the second step, while you've got it all out, is to clean. So in areas where there are like fine granules and crumbs, whatever you want to call it, I like to use a handheld vacuum cleaner, a little dust buster, to vacuum out the cabinets. And then, you wipe it out. And then before you put anything back, you're starting with a clean slate. And if any of your spices or canisters are dirty or sticky, now's a good time to go ahead and wipe those off too. Just start fresh. There's no sense in doing all this work and then putting away dirty things.
Right. Yeah.
I can't wrap my mind around that kind of thing. So you've decluttered, you have cleaned it up, and now you're going to group like things. You're going to put them into categories or things that are similar. So sometimes people like to sort, think about your spices. People like to sort them alphabetically. I don't do that. I like to sort by use and size, because sometimes I have like small canisters for certain spices, and then some of them that we use a lot, we get the big ones because it's just more cost effective.
Yeah.
So group like things, whatever you decide to do, whatever system you come up with, just make sure it's something that's maintainable for not just for you, but for whoever might be putting away things. You don't want it to be so complicated that you can't maintain it. That's what a lot of people get into, that kind of predicament. And it's just, you're wasting your time, really.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this next one, you can decant your items. That's just a fancy way to say pour your dry goods into a container. But here's what I would suggest. Only do this if you're going to stay on top of it. With like the Netflix show, The Home Edit, and those things like that, it's becoming more and more popular. Everyone wants the clear canisters, and you put your bag of chips in the canister, and that looks awesome. It looks really great. But how many people have time when you get home from the grocery store to open every bag and box and dump it in? But you want to not put the stale part that's on the bottom. You got to get that.
Right.
So I suggest only doing it for items that you're going to actually stay on top of. Yes.
So Paige, I have a question for those, and you're probably going to get to this, so forgive me if I'm jumping ahead.
Okay.
But what is your tip in those instances to keep up with the expiration date? Do you write it on the side on a little sticker? Do you tear it off of the bag and throw it down in there? Like, how do you keep up with it? And spices also.
Yeah, that's excellent choice. Seriously, my next point. I'm not kidding. You don't need me anymore.
Oh my goodness.
So yes, you can do it multiple ways. Some people take a dry erase marker and they'll write the date on there. I don't do that because it's going to get smudged off. So yeah. I just and I only decant things like flour, sugar, brown sugar. I only decant those types of things in our home, but you do whatever you'd like to do. So I cut off the expiration date, And if there's a nutrition label that I think I need the information on, I cut it off and I tape it on the bottom just with some Scotch tape. Nothing.
Yeah.
Some people will put it on the back, and that's fine too. That's just my preference. And then the next time I need to refill it, I cut it off the next sugar bag and stick it on the bottom. It's just really easy. I've also before, sometimes it's hard to read, so I'll just get like a piece of paper and write the expiration date and tape it on the bottom. It doesn't have to be anything fancy.
Right.
But yes, that's what I do. And you can do that with spices too. A lot of people, I've had a few clients that have wanted to move all their spices to like matching cohesive spice jars, which is really nice. But I made them promise me that they were going to pour them in there the next time they needed
Right.
to.
Yeah. I have always thought those look so cute, so cool, whatever. I just can't bring myself to do it. I'm like, what are you really doing other than making? And that's not, I'm not, people who do that. Like, I don't mean anything rude, but I'm like, if this container right here says McCormick thyme or sage or, whatever it is, the only difference is going to be this cute little square plane. And then I've still got to like write the expiration date and label that it's time. And it just seems like a lot of work to me, but I absolutely love the way they look for the people who do it.
Yes, the finished product is nice. But again, and I don't ever discourage anyone from doing it. I just, as much as I love things to be organized, I want them to be functional above all else.
Yeah.
And if you have your time and you want to put that in a pretty canister, well, that's great. But what do you do with the part that doesn't fit? Do you throw it away? Do you then have 2 canisters you have to find?
Right.
So, anyway, you can do that little trick with the expiration date and the nutrition label. It's very simple, super easy, and it is helpful and easy to stay on top of. So another way that if you choose to decant things, put things in canisters, we've talked about this before on here, but I make custom vinyl labels that you can kind of take it up a notch. It makes it nice and pretty in your pantry or on your counter, wherever you store those canisters. And it's just a nice way to, spruce it up a little bit. I have an example here. Here's some sugar. Let's see. Can you see that?
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. And then, I did this. This is our sugar, but I did this for an event I did a few weeks ago where I set up a booth. And so I wanted to show people the different font options. So we have sugar on there. But yeah. And then our expiration date's just taped to the bottom. It's just very simple. And then another way I wanted to show this example, these are like some bigger spice jars that we have. And you know what it's on? It's on a turntable.
Turntable.
Yeah. So it works well. And these are spices that we use fairly regularly. And so we like to keep them handy, and we don't have the cabinet space that we have is not great for these, but the turntable makes it to where I can reach any of them at any time without taking out extra things. So I do love that. Okay, so let's get back on track. So once you have gone through everything, you've decluttered, you've cleaned, you've grouped and sorted and decided what you're going to decant and all that kind of stuff, you got to put it back in your pantry and cabinets. And so I just suggest keeping the things that you use most frequently towards the front. If there's a time where you get to and you're like, man, I really need some help with this, you can always call me for either a virtual session or an in-person session. I can help you put it back in a way that's very functional and just feasible. It just will work well and look nice in your pantry or in your cabinets. That's what I've got. So after you've done all the hard work of the decluttering and the cleaning and sorting, then you just get to put it back in a way that fits best in your space.
I love that. And, there have been a couple of times where I've kind of redone mine. Mm-hmm. We've just been in our house a little bit over a year. And so I being in a newer home and having things set up, it's pretty established.
Yeah.
There's one particular cabinet where I have my oils, like my olive oils and my canola and vegetable oils, some vinegar, just kind of things like that. Some of my Worcestershire sauce, things that are kind of too large or slash don't really qualify for the baking or the spices kind of thing.
Yeah.
Cabinet for those. And so I've kind of had to organize it a couple of times to kind of get it, like I want it. But it's so much easier when you are cooking, if you're baking, if you've done that ahead of time. But oftentimes my husband is the one that's doing the cleanup. He's so good to help me do that. And so most of the time with my spices, I'm returning those as I use them, but not always. If it's something I'm baking and I just don't have time to put everything up as I'm using it, problem I run into there is that he doesn't necessarily know the order that I had things in. So I might have to go tweak it just a little bit, but I do not say a word because I appreciate the help.
Yes, I think that's pretty common. I think communication is important, and so that both people or whoever's living in your home knows where things go. I actually had a client this summer. I redid her whole kitchen, and she had done a lot of the purging before I got there. And when I walked in, there were 5 chili powders, like
Really?
big chili, and they were all open. They were all
No. Oh, goodness.
Their spice cabinet had just gotten out of control. They had lived there for several years, and it was.
Yeah.
I thought, why do you have so many? And she said, well, we would be at the store, or my husband would be getting ready to cook something, and he'd say, I don't think we have any chili powder. And I don't know if we do or not. I can't check. And then they'd bring another one home and bring another one home.
Yeah. I feel like I can be that way with Rotel tomatoes and cream of mushroom soup. Like I'm always buying those things. Like, oh, I can always use another can of cream of mushroom soup. Wow. Even if I make my list, even if I go through the pantry and the refrigerator before I go to the grocery, sometimes I'm still like, do I need another can of cream of mushroom soup?
I know what you mean.
Oh, wow. Great tips as always. And for everyone watching, thank you again. We appreciate you tuning in. You see Paige's website ticking across the bottom. I keep that up there because it's just a reminder to you all that she is available with a plethora of services for helping you stay organized in your home, whether it's one room, a whole house, somewhere in between, closets, pantries, playrooms, whatever. So you can follow up with Paige about a virtual or an in-person consultation if that works for you, if that's a service you need. So that's there. Anything else, Paige? Do we want to give them any kind of little hint about what we got coming up?
Well, yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think the rest of the tips will continue to help you prepare for Thanksgiving, for Christmas. I think that's good. You think that's a good tip?
Yeah. Just know the things we are going to share all revolve around the holidays and just helping you be organized and efficient in your homes. So there you go. All right. Well, I think that is a wrap for today. Again, for everyone watching, we so appreciate you. Please share, like, comment, do all those things to continue to help Paige and I get this word out. And as always, let us know if there is a specific topic that you would like us to cover, because we can certainly do that as well. So, all right. Well, we will call it done for today. Everyone have a wonderful afternoon and a good rest of your week. And we'll see you right back here for the next Tip Tuesday.
Bye.